Hello, I'm Death's Arrow, and this is a WoT I'm Thinking Debrief for the week of April 21st, 2013. The first tank I featured in the WoT I'm Thinking series was the Ferdinand tank destroyer. While I haven't featured very much footage of the Ferdi since that time, it's still one of my favorite vehicles in World of Tanks. Time has not been particularly kind to the Ferdi. Continued power creep, along with credit premium ammo, has lessened the effectiveness of its armor. The gun isn't quite as accurate as it used to be. Mobility is generally more valued in game these days. That said, if used properly, the Ferdi is still an effective battlefield contributor, capable of laying waste to any enemy foolish enough to face off with it. I still play my Ferdi with the same aggressive style I've always employed, but I am more careful. There are more mobile tanks in game now, and getting flanked at close range is something that needs to be avoided. One of the things that I've changed is swapping out binocs for optics. I'm generally not bush camping with my Ferdi, so always having a 10% increase in view range is much more valuable than a 25% increase when not moving. This happens to be the second crew I've trained in the Ferdi. When I did the Ferdinand episodes, there were only 3 crew skills: repair, camo, and firefighting. While I still feel that repair is a key skill for the Ferdi, I plan to train this crew with 6th sense, clutch braking, designated target, safe stowage, and adrenaline rush once they reach the second skill. And now it's time for the match of the week! The replay that we'll be looking at is from April 27th on Mountain Pass in my Ferdinand tank destroyer. As noted on the loading screen, this is a standard battle. Reviewing tank composition for this battle reveals the following. This is a Tier 8 battle with 7 Tier 8s, 4 Tier 7s, 2 Tier 6s, a single Tier 5 RDPs, and a Tier 4 scout on each team. I don't recognize anyone in this battle. As the battle loads in, my plan is to head west towards the 1-2 row. Ideally, I'd like to get to the sniper ridge at H3-4, but we'll see what happens. While a lot of players would consider going ice road, I prefer not to get bogged down on the low side of the map with only uphill climbs between myself and getting back to base in a slower tank. As the battle gets underway, I turn and start heading west. Got a fairly decent team split here as we get underway. Get hung up a little bit with this Hellcat, but I slow down and turn off, letting him pull away. He's a little out of control. He actually rammed the back of our KV-4 just before that. Do need to be careful when you get going in a match. It's very easy if you're in a smaller tank to try to weave between the heavier tanks, and if you're not paying close enough attention, ramming them in the back. The big negative with that is that the player that you ram and is penalized and forced to pay for your repair. I notice that my teammates are taking fire from the north and immediately adjust my plan, as I'll need to cover the middle of the map. It's likely that the enemy is at E3 and sniping across the depressed middle portion of the map. They're taking more hits. Turns out that the enemy has 2 spotters on the ramp. These fast light tanks will require some caution on my part, as they do have the ability to flank me out if I'm not paying attention. Lining up the T-71 again. He backs into cover. I take a flank hit from the AMX-12T. Turn my front armor towards him and bounce. Need to be cautious of these 2 scouts here. Our IS-6 is moving into a flanking position, so I'm going to push up on the T-50. And I knock him down. Back into cover. IS-6 gets a hit on the AMX-12T. Tried to line him up, but he's behind a rock, so I'm going to line up the T-29. Bounce my first shot. If you look at the sniper view, you'll see that I'm utilizing both terrain and angling to maximize my armor protection. The enemy is forced to fire at my upper plate and mantlet at an angle that they'll likely bounce. Trying to line up again. That time I get a hit in the hull and I bounce his return shot. He likely hit me in the upper plate. I'm only partially exposed in this location. Trying to line up the T-34, and I miss. The rest of the team is now pushing the western flank to the 1-2 row. Bounce another shot, get a hit on the T-34. Trying to lap the T-29 again. And I knock him down. See pretty good coverage on the mini-map. Nothing really to be particularly concerned about at this point. I am concerned about that Type 59 though that was at E3. So I am maintaining my distance even though there's nothing for me to fire on right now. It would be foolish to push in and then have a 59 flank me. While I am concerned about the location of the enemy Type 59, I decide that I need to push the middle and provide flanking support to my team. If the 59 is indeed still there, I'll need to keep him at a reasonable distance so I can keep my front armor pointed at him. Let's get about partway across. I notice that there is an enemy low on the other end of the depressed section. Line him up. Got a nice flank shot here. Get a hit. Disappears from view. Trying to line up a second shot as he backs up. Miss my second shot. Make a decision that I'm going to continue my push. No sign of the 59, which is good for me. Looking at the mini-map, our team has just pushed through the far western road. 59 has fallen back to C3-4. We have a 5 tank lead right now. As I come up the ramp, spot Artie. No shot though. Continuing to press forward. As we break through the middle, going to cap is the last thing on my mind. The enemy still has 3 tanks in the middle, and I'd likely take significant damage trying to avoid those enemies, so I push in on them. The Ferdinand, Type 59, and AT-8 are in the middle. Pushing in here. Try to line up the Ferdinand. Squeeze my shot around our IS-6 for the kill. Keep my armor angled on this AT-8. He misses his shot. Turn back to the 59. Get a flank hit on him. I continue to angle my armor during the encounter with the Type 59. I can still keep my gun trained on him while increasing my armor protection and forcing the 59 to harmlessly bounce. Staying focused on the 59. He's been very opportunistic so far. Missed my shot. I'm backing up, angling my armor. Twisting it a little bit. He does not fire on me that time. Decide to push it on the AT-8. He gets a hit on me, and I knock him down. Take a hit back from the 59. Twisting around this wreck here so I can get in on the 59. Line him up. Bounce my shot. He bounces on me. I was pulling back there, but now I'm charging forwards again. Gets a hit on me. Line him up. Knock him down. Enemy is now down to a T-32 and a Hummel. There's the T-32 at B3. And there's the Hummel. Also heading back to base. We've got a T-20 up there at B1. He's at 1 hit point though. Gets knocked down. Keep pushing forwards. Looks like the T-32 is on the ramp. Kind of a strange position, but considering he's overwhelmed, I guess he needs to do what he needs to do. Pushing around the corner. Artie has also climbed the hill. IS-6 knocks him down. Turning to try to line up the T-32. Can't quite elevate my gun enough, so I begin to back up. Got a shot on his turret now, and I knock him down for the win. Looking at the after action screens, I destroyed 6 tanks for a top gun, damaged 3 more, hit 14 of 17 shots, did 4,139 points of damage, and earned 1,852 experience before the triple. Overall, this battle shows off a good mix of Ferdi tactics, from sniping early on to an aggressive push as the match progressed, to some close quarters combat near the end. While I did mention in the intro that the Ferdi's gun isn't as accurate as it used to be, it was plenty accurate in this match. I had little trouble hitting targets and doing significant damage in the process. One of the most basic skills on display in this match was armor angling. The Ferdi's front armor is flat, and twisting the tank a few degrees increases its effectiveness. You do have to be a little careful with the Ferdi in particular due to its chamfered corners of the hull, which get flatter and become weak spots if you angle the hull too far. By not over-angling, you can maintain gun tracking on your target while being able to bounce return fire. This technique is effective with all tanks in game and a key skill to employ with German tanks. Thank you for watching this WoT I'm Thinking Debrief. Stay tuned for more content soon.
Ha ha ha.